top 5 things that 2020 ruined slash threw a wrench in. I literally just said that to Zeus before before I started recording again. So that's why I phrased it that way. All right. So my number 5. This is literally off the cuff. I don't know. My number 5. Okay. Trips. I had like a whole lot of trips planned. I was actually talking to Ali, my classmate that I did the interview with.
Yeah.
So we were talking back in like February about 2020 vision. It was like a dumb thing, but she had an Instagram post of her wearing glasses or something, and I think she had hurt her eye or something like that. And I said something about wanting to get LASIK surgery this year, blah blah, and then it became a whole 2020 vision thing. So anyway, I had all that stuff planned out. I had trips to South Carolina to finally visit my friend's house for the first time. I was going to spend a week over in Virginia with my brother and his family. I was supposed to go for an AWS conference, Amazon Web Services, in Houston for like a 3-day thing. First time my company was ever going to pay for something like that. So all of that canceled. I even had a brother's trip to. I don't think it was going to be Vegas this year. I think it was going to be somewhere in South America. Canceled. So trips was something that 2020 ruined for me this year. I'm sorry, the pandemic ruined for me this year.
I'm gonna do mine a little bit different than that. I'm not just gonna mention problematic things. I'm also gonna mention some stuff that it showed that we could do for the better, right? That might only be one though, because most of the things that this pandemic did was negative. But my first one I'm gonna mention is the same as you. It is trips, because a lot of trips got canceled for me as well. My wife was planning on going to the Dominican Republic to go see her friend get married. It also threw a wrench. Not even trips, gatherings. Gatherings with family. Like I know you and your family are like a huge unit, right? Now I don't know if you're like my wife's family, where it's like about cousins, uncles, aunts, all of them, or if it's just your immediate family. But even then, let's put a wrench in it, right? That just caused it like where you have people coming over and then you're just like, do I really need you guys here? Because I don't want you to get me sick, Yeah. So I'm in agreement, and I'm fine with you. Like kind of in that same vein. For me, it's more gatherings. It's just like you're not able to do things the way you want to. My goddaughter was supposed to have her quinceañera, and I don't just in case people don't know what a quinceañera is, it's basically the sweet 16, but and for Hispanic people, we do the 15 opposed to sweet 16. Kind of messed that up. We had a plan. Obviously because I'm her godfather, I was gonna do a dance with her, and then it's just like that kind of was like, man, you got to see your goddaughter grow up, and then all of a sudden you can't even do that dance. Not this year, at least. Hopefully next year it'll happen. Hopefully things will start getting fixed. So, but for me, number 5 is definitely gatherings. Family gatherings just got completely ruined, man.
Yeah. You're saying you don't know if my family does more like extended or like the nuclear
extended
family.
Or close, man.
We generally on my mom's side, we do interact with like her side of the family a little more. But those are the ones like living in England. The ones living in Nigeria, I mean, like we talk on the phone and message here and there, but we aren't like really that close knit. But the nuclear family for sure, my brothers and their kids and their wives, we're all super close. At least I think so. We try to do the Zoom call every now and then. So it was kind of rough, not being able to, gather like that, like you mentioned. So yeah, damn you, Corona. So my number 4, actually, I would say is the world's number 4, and it's kind of stealing a little bit from what you just said, because I think what you just said kind of covers that too. But coronavirus took away a lot of like milestone celebrations, right? Talking graduations, talking proms, those big things. That I remember my high school graduation, right? I remember not even feeling like I really wanted to go all that much, but then I went, and it was like to this day, I still remember it. It's like, I'm glad I was there, you know. I'm glad I went to prom. I'm glad I did all these things that, you know, you only get to do once, and or you might get to do twice if you go junior and senior prom. But
or if you get held back.
if you get held back, that's one way to do it. So the fact that like a full year of children missed out on that, it's sad. You know, even though
Yeah.
it didn't affect me directly, just seeing that happen, I was like, damn, that really sucks. So yeah.
Yeah, so I get in that same vein, the number 4 would be for me is kind of how that ruined a lot of people's daycare. It didn't affect me, thank God. Thankfully, me and my wife have a great situation where, one, I work from home, so I get to be with the kids when they wake up, get them ready for the day, feed them, you know, just feed them throughout the day. Thankfully, they're 3, they could take care of themselves, you know. Just it was like, hey, go make some eggs, you know, just go turn, you know how to turn on the fire. I'm messing with y'all people. Please don't think that I let my 3-year-olds cook, but you know, I'm able to cook some food for them, you know, get them ready, sit them down, and I still get to work and then, you know, do all my stuff. Thankfully, my job is very accepting of that and understanding of that, you know. But there's a lot of people that are not like that, man. That this thing totally screwed them up. And it's kind of tragic how some people had to choose between keeping their jobs or watching over their kids, because a lot of people didn't have opportunities to be able to do both, right? My wife works overnight, so she can watch them during the day, and then she goes to work at night, and then I have them with me the whole night, right? So the daycare thing, I think that's really one of the biggest things, which actually will kind of make me kind of go into a little bit of one of the things that I was going to say that kind of exposed about this country, or corporations at least. Corporations can no longer say that, hey, we can't function with you guys working from home. Because a lot of people who used to not be able to work from home because the company refused to let them work from home had to let them work from home. And then all of a sudden now they realize, like, oh, we were giving y'all BS. Like, we can work from home. Things will still be the same. And in fact,
Even more productive.
Yeah, because actually the review has been with the company has been, do you want to come back? And the majority of the people are like, no, we don't want to come back. Y'all need to figure something out because we don't want to come back. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. Like, it's out. We're not coming back. So I got to figure something out. So I hate to be commercial real estate, because I think for a lot of companies who are renting their area of work, they might have no need. Yeah, they might not have need to rent as much as they used to. So I hate to see how this is going to affect commercial real estate, but I feel like the corona kind of exposed a little bit of that, you know? So.
Yeah. Oh, before I go into my number 3, one thing I wanted to add to my number 4 about, you know, milestone events. I had a friend, I guess a pair of friends, that were supposed to get married this year. They actually did get married, but it ended up being a much smaller event, right? And I mean, this is a wedding they've been planning since, I want to say, middle of last year, or
Yeah.
so it was like a long engagement. And then, you know, they'd even picked out the date, you know, 10, 10, 20. Yeah, it's a big thing. And then this hit.
10 plus 10 equals 20. That makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Quick maths. So what they ended up doing is they ended up doing like a beach wedding with, I think they both have their parents there. So it's like, you know, 2 sets of parents. Maybe.
Beach wedding in October?
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, you know how the weather's been. It's been like, you know, up and down. You know, some
Hey,
October weather's been hot.
Gotta let global warming work for you, you know?
Right,
Hashtag
yeah.
global warming.
So, so they had a few people there. I'd say probably less than 20 people, which, I mean, is still a sizable amount. And then the rest of us watched via Zoom. You know, so they made it work, but you know, that's like a real like.
Yeah, but you know, you got to think about the thing that sucks is, I mean, look, this is first world problems, right? But it is something like my wedding is something that me and a lot of my friends will remember for the rest of our lives, you know, just because my wedding was a blast. Remember, we met at a wedding. That wedding was a blast. I still have callbacks to that night sometimes when I think of certain particular things. You know, so it's just kind of like, it is a huge milestone, and it really does affect people. And not only that, but you also got to think about it affects people who have those jobs, right? There's people who being a wedding planner
caterers and stuff,
and a DJ and all that stuff, man. Like, so one of my my DJ, he gave me a discount because one of my best men was his cousin, so he gave me a good discount. Mm-hmm. My friend hired them for the year before, so last year, right? And he charged them a little bit more, right? Because, you know, I was getting the family discount. But now somebody else tried to hire him who we know, he has to charge a lot more than he used to.
Yeah.
Because he's not getting as many weddings as he used to, so it's affecting stuff. So yeah, so the wedding thing, man, I feel bad for the people who have those weddings who didn't get the chance to do their weddings before the pre-corona. Because I know just recently one of my friends from high school, they got married, and one of my friends, he actually is a dog groomer, so he grooms my dog. And I was talking to him, and he was telling me, he was like, "No, man, they had been planning this wedding for way before last December." And it was going to be a big old ballroom, but the only thing they did was which is the one where you actually get married by that's the reception, or that's that's the ceremony, right?
The ceremonies, yeah, where the priest actually does it.
So the ceremony, so they couldn't get a refund on the ceremony, so they went through with the ceremony, but instead of having, 50, 100 people there, they only had like a good 20, so it does rich. Damn you, Corona.
Yeah. Damn you, Corona. That's going to be the name of this segment. So, so my number 3 is championship celebrations. So
not that we know anything about those.
All right. So, I mean, we were obviously on the negative side of one of them, but the Dodgers did win their first championship in 32 years, and they didn't really get to celebrate it, with a big crowd in LA like they would have. In England, Liverpool won their first Premier League title and their first subdivision title in 30 years, right? I mean, they've been like clawing at this for like a long time, and they finally did it. And Corona, it was an empty stadium. It was so sad to watch. There's the Lakers, coming back to the pinnacle of the NBA, and they're in a bubble league. There's no fans in there. People are watching via Skype or whatever. So, I mean, they did things to make it work, or to get some semblance of, like the crowd is there, but it just wasn't the same. It was just sad to kind of see, those big milestone championships.
I'm gonna stick with that with number 3, because my number 3 would be actually, for me personally, is just not going to get to go see a Falcons game. I was planning on going to go see a Falcons game. This wouldn't have been the first time I got into the Mercedes business. This would have been the second time, but I really wanted to go because I have a list of. I want to see the Falcons play every single team at least one time, and I have a list of the ones. So one of the ones that I was going to see was it the Chargers? Did we play the Chargers here?
No, we will. Right, because we played. No, did we play?
Yeah, we're gonna play the Chargers here. No, we're gonna play the Chargers here because we played the Raiders here, and then we played the Broncos here too. So
did we play? So we played the Raiders in here.
It was the Seahawks. I was gonna go see the Seahawks, the opening game against the Seahawks, because I hadn't seen us play the Seahawks. So I really wanted. I was like, oh, this is the opening weekend. I'm gonna see it. Of course, shit worked out, so damn Corona. But one thing that I can't stand, I don't know, I just can't stand that fake noise. It sounds legit, but after a while you realize it's fake. The noise that they put in for the audience. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I can't stand it. I really can't. I really can't, because it sounds okay, and then I realize it's like there's not really people cheering. It's somebody's doing the boo and the yay whenever there's like a I don't know. It doesn't seem authentic.
Funny enough, I don't hear it. Like I heard it maybe the first game, but I think I get so consumed with what's actually going on in the field that it's like it becomes like white noise. You know how like you get nose blind to like your dirty socks in your room or whatever. It's the same kind of thing with this sound. Like I just get deaf to it after a while. I don't even. So
it doesn't affect that badly, so it's not a big deal. It's just when I think about it, it just look. One thing I'm gonna learn is I'm an angry ass old man, really deep down inside of my heart. And then there's just certain things. That's just kind of like a whole get off my grass kind of thing.
Is it that deep down though?
Huh? Hey, I'm still in my mid-30s, so I'm not even middle aged yet. So it's in my heart, not in my body, not yet. I'm getting there though. I'm like I don't know if you've ever seen New Girl, where
Winston?
No, Nick.
Nick Miller. Okay.
Where Nick is like, no, I like getting older. It's like, what's it called? It's like my personality is starting to catch up to my age, and it shows him like at fifth, like when he was like 9 years old, and somebody threw a frisbee. He's like, I'm keeping this. You keep it off my lawn, you damn kids. So my personality is starting to catch up to my age. So I'm getting better with age, ladies.
Nice. Okay, so number 3 was the sporting events thing. Number 2. Well, I might as well use it here. Movies. Yeah. But you know what? So to a certain extent, right? Yes, the movies being postponed, that's a bummer and stuff. But I think because of the quarantine, I've discovered new shows and movies that I wouldn't have otherwise. For instance, I just started watching The Queen's Gambit. Really like it. I don't know if have you seen it on Netflix? About chess.
I'm very picky about like older British shows.
No, it's not older. It's this year, and it's American.
No. Is it?
It is. Yeah, it's American.
I thought it was British. Because the reason I didn't watch The Crown is because my wife watches it, so I was watching while she was watching the new season. She already finished it, by the way. I don't know if you've already finished yours.
I haven't started season 4 yet. No.
So I don't know. It's just kind of like you could kind of tell the difference between British shows and American shows.
Mm-hmm.
American shows are a lot cheesier and a lot more about drama.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas it's like with the Crown, you can kind of sense that they're like, no, we're trying to be as faithful as we can to the product. Yeah. So it's not going to exactly be as exciting as you would think.
They're all true thespians,
Yeah, and it's just like, I'm like, no, man, give me some of that oddball, telenovela crap, like.
Yeah, but no.
Like, you slept with my father, Prince Charles.
I think you like The Queen's Gambit. Give episode 1 a try. Yeah.
I'll check it out.
So I've checked out stuff that I wouldn't have before. Now I've always been like a big TV show watcher anyway, but I feel like a lot more so this year, and a lot of catching up on things that people have been telling me to watch for years that I didn't before.
Yeah.
A lot of watching movies on Hulu. I watched Bombshell finally. About Roger Ailes and the Fox News thing. Actually, the movie was okay. It wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be.
I feel like they rushed that one.
Yeah, it was okay. It was all right.
I was like, can it really be a movie about history when it's still happening?
It's still happening. Exactly.
It's still actually happening.
Yeah. So, but yeah, having Black Widow be delayed, and by effect, having Falcon and Winter Soldier being delayed. I think there was one more of those. I think Hawkeye might have been delayed as a result too.
WandaVision did too. WandaVision was going to already be released by now.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that's another one. So apparently, and I don't know if you want to hear this. I'm going to tell you anyway. So apparently, there's a end credits in Black Widow that's supposed to be like, it's supposed to connect to like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Yeah. Therefore, you can't have Falcon and the Winter Soldier without first releasing Black Widow.
I kind of want to have that's probably a discussion for another day, because I don't know how I feel about this. And maybe we'll discuss it when we talk about how Corona has affected the movie industry. Because even though this was going to happen regardless, I don't know how I feel about the fact that now the MCU, you have to watch the shows in order for the MCU connections to be there. You know what I mean? Like
we should talk about that. I have thoughts.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk about that. So, but in that same vein, I completely agree with you. Just not getting a chance to go see. I was upset that Mulan got released to Disney Plus, but
you wanted the theater experience.
I'm going to go watch that movie. Most likely, I wasn't going to go watch the movie in the movies. I was most likely going to wait until Disney Plus releases it anyways. But it's just one of those things. It's just like you like that option to be there. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we know this is first world problems that we're talking about, I like the option of going to the theater.
Do you think Hamilton would have been released on Disney Plus anyway? Or do you think it was as a result of what was going on with COVID?
I don't think it would have. And that's actually one benefit that happened because we love Hamilton.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, very much so.
So
you talk a big Hamilton fans.
I was listening to another podcast about one of my favorite children's series. So I don't know if you knew about the series Animorphs.
I know, yeah, Animorphs.
So I grew up listening to Animorphs. I'm actually rereading. I stopped a hard stop because I was like, you know what? I'm not getting through my reading list the way I want to. So I decided to do a hard stop, and I'm actually reading like the Animorphs series all over again. And then what I'm doing is there's a podcast that somebody has where they break it down and talk about it and kind of review it and kind of you think about it from an adult perspective versus a children's perspective. And then I actually, if I'm actually in my head, I'm thinking about doing because we're going to do a deep dive on MCU, right? I'm actually thinking about doing my own podcast, but I don't do recording, so probably won't do it. But
do it as a playlist on our channel. It can be
maybe where I deep dive into the animal series. So maybe some people will like it. But anyway, they referenced it, so that shit was a hilarious thing. Like they did a song where they spinned off a song on Hamilton. So Hamilton is actually one of those benefits of the coronavirus because I don't think it would have been released.
Yeah, and if it was a theatrical release, would I have gone to see it in theaters? Maybe not. Probably not.
Fun fact that I mentioned to you: Hamilton is the most streamed item of 2020. Hamilton and
deservedly so.
Guess what number 2 is?
Mulan? No.
Nope.
I don't know.
I'll give you a hint. It's very nice.
Oh, Borat 2.
Borat number 2 is the second most streamed item in Hamilton, which of course kind of like destroys like Disney Plus's idea of how Mulan was gonna take care, gonna be fixed because it's like, no, we'll watch it if you give it to us for free. If not, we'll just wait.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely agree with you on the movie front. Kind of a screwed man. And another one for you was wasn't it the James Bond movie?
Yeah. But I'm fine. It's one of those where I'll watch it whenever it's there. I'm legit mad about Black Widow being moved. The 007 thing, I mean, I'll watch it when I watch it.
Yeah.
I love 007 movies, but I can wait.
And nobody's disappointed about the Fast and the Furious one.
Yes. All right. So the movies was also your number 2?
Yeah.
All right. Number 1. Number 1 is mostly, and I feel like it's kind of cheating because it's been kind of stated with the gatherings and stuff, but just my friends, like not seeing friends as often. I have friends that I haven't seen since last year, that I would have seen at least. These are friends that I usually see like maybe once a month, once every couple of months. I haven't seen since December. And we chat online and stuff, but I don't know. There's just something missing there. Yeah, and maybe I'm just a bit of a sentimentalist, but it is a little sad. So friends, missing my friends.
Just wanted to let you know that the way a person acts towards their friends is how they act towards a significant other. Ladies, look at him. 1, he has a scarf, right? 2, he loves his friends and his family. Come on. Come on. He's going to be the first big wedding once this pandemic is over. So ladies, y'all better scoop this man up as soon as you get a chance. Okay. But my number 1 is actually a little bit more serious. I would actually say that, and I don't know if you'll agree with me, but I think the election. I think the election had a significant, like, corona actually affected the election. I think that Bernie Sanders would have had a much better chance if the coronavirus hadn't happened. Because 1, remember, he had the biggest gatherings, so that created a momentum.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that if the coronavirus hadn't hit and he had still been able to do rallies, he had still been able to do, I think his momentum would have carried over where he could have definitely, I think he could have won won the nomination, or had a much better chance of winning the nomination had the pandemic not hit when it hit, because it literally hit right when Super Tuesday was happening, and that's when everybody decided to throw in. So even number 2 and number 3 in the race decided to put all their weight behind number 4. I think that shut up. I think that I honestly feel like the pandemic did affect the presidential election.
Okay.
Now go ahead and tell me how you disagree.
I'll tell you how I disagree. When everyone dropped out to put their weight behind Joe Biden, it was after South Carolina, which is February 29th. And as soon as South Carolina came through and Buttigieg and Klobuchar and all of them saw that they were terrible with the black votes, they were like, okay, well, I have no path to victory. And then they dropped out. Super Tuesday.
They're terrible with the black vote. They're terrible with the black people.
Okay, fine. But Super Tuesday then happened, which is still in-person voting. And then I think after South Carolina, no, Biden had a lead in the electoral college race because South Carolina had a big chunk, but it was like a very slim lead. And then after Super Tuesday, that's when that lead started to grow. And it was after Super Tuesday that all the other elections decided, okay, we're going to either start postponing or we're going to do mail-in voting or whatever. So Super Tuesday was in-person voting. So if you're trying to say that if Bernie had the opportunity to have rallies and stuff, he could have overturned the deficit.
I don't think he would have thrown in the towel right away.
Right. So
the way
he could have overturned the deficit in the votes in it's not electoral college, it's the delegates. If you're saying he could have overturned the deficit in the delegate count, that's a fair argument to make. But I don't think it had anything to do with this others dropping out because they dropped out before.
I still like to blame. I still like to blame Super Tuesday, but no, I honestly think that because one thing that I did mention is like I hated it, but I understood that it was the most Bernie thing to do. Was when he decided to cancel his campaign right when he saw the pandemic was at its most, and he decided, you know what, people going out to vote for me, he doesn't want that on his conscience of them possibly getting sick. That's when he decided to postpone his campaign, right when the pandemic hit. And I feel like that that just threw a big wrench in it. So I do think he could have at least had a better chance. It might have been a Huckabee situation where, you know how Huckabee just never threw in the towel. And so like mathematically, it might have been that. But I think Bernie Sanders would have definitely gone down swinging a lot harder had this pandemic happened. So that for me will be my number 1.
Okay, fair enough.
Bernie should have been there.
Hey, look, man, he's still a senator. He still has a voice in there. You know, we'll see how that turns out. But yeah, that's our top 5 things that coronavirus.
A morbid top 5.
Messed up. I'm wearing like a scarf like it's a funeral.